lesson, we're going to be taking a look at a minor blues. Now this is still a 12-bar blues sequence, but there's a few variations in the chords that make it a minor blues. I've written an example solo that's going to show you how to play over the changes and show you some extra notes that you can play to fit the new chord changes. Now there's a couple of main differences between a minor blues and a standard 12-bar blues. The first main difference is that the 1 chord and the 4 chord are both minor. So we're doing this in an example key of C. So we're changing it. The other lessons have all been A minor. We're mixing up this week. We're going to C minor. So the 1 chord and the 4 chord will be C minor and F minor. That's a C minor 7, F minor 7, or you could just play an F minor. So the 1 chord and the 4 chord are both minor. The next big difference is the turnaround. So whereas with a standard 12-bar blues, the turnaround goes 5, 4, 1, 5. The turnaround in a minor blues goes up to a flat 6, which is making it minor. That chord comes from the natural minor scale or the Aeolian mode. So in the key of C, that's going to be an A flat major 7. We then come to a 5 chord, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this a dominant 7. Then it goes back to the 1, which is C minor, and back to the 5. So instead of going 5, 4, 1, 5, it goes flat 6, 5, 1, 5. I'll play the solo all the way through, and then we'll break it down and go through it after that. Play the 12-bar sequence all the way through just so you can hear what it sounds like. So that's the 12-bar sequence, just using some basic minor 7 chords, A flat major 7 and G7, and then at the end doing the G7 sharp 9. Same thing that we were doing with the previous lessons on the mixed Lydian blues, making the 5 chord altered. Okay, so let's start off going through the solo. We start off in position 1 of the C minor pentatonic. And we start off with 2 bends up to the root note of C. So it's 11th on the beat, we bend up a tone, 2 bends. Then what we're going to do is a 3rd bend, which will be a bend and release. And we come off to the 8th fret on the B. We then come to the 10th fret on the G string. We're going to bend up. Now, whilst the bend's up, your little finger's going to come on and play the 11th fret on the B string. We're then going to do a bend and release on the 10th fret G string. So we bend that one up again and bring it back down. Then come to 8 on the G. We're then going to do this string skip. We're going to come to the 10th fret on the A string. We then come back to the 8th on the G, and we slide down to the 5th. Now, I tend to do this sometimes with hybrid picking, sometimes with pick. Try what's best for you. So if you're doing it with hybrid picking, when you come to the A string, you'll be using your pick for that, but when you come back to the G, you'll use your middle finger. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I use the pick, play around with it, see what's best for you. Okay, now we're in position 4 of the C minor pentatonic, down around the 3rd fret, and we play 3 to 5 on the G. We're now going to do a quick grace note slide from 5 to 3 on the D string. We then play 1st fret on the D to 3rd fret on the D. After we've played the 3rd fret on the D string, we're going to do a semitone bend up to the 4th and back down. 1st fret on the D, and then back to the root note of C on the 3rd. Now you can also do this with a slide. I think when I've been playing this, I've been sometimes doing it with slides, sometimes doing it with a bend and release. So if you were to do it with a slide, as with all of these licks that we've done throughout the course, it's just to give you some suggestions, some ideas of notes that you can bend, notes you can slide, what position of the scale you're in, what notes to land on. You can play around with them and make them your own. If you want to slide some notes, great. If you want to bend them, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Change the timing, that's fine too. It's just so you can get some ideas and then try to make them your own. Okay, so once we've landed on this C note, we've now got to get ready for the chord change, moving to F minor, and we're going to do this 16th note run up. We start on the 1st fret A string and we hammer onto the 3rd. We come to the 1st fret on the D. I'm going to slide from 3 to 5, same string. I then play 3 on the G to 5 on the G. I'm then going to do a chromatic rundown leading to this F note. So we're going to aim to hit that F note as the chord changes to F. I play 5 on the D, 4 on the D, and then land on the 3rd fret D string, which is an F note, as the chord changes to F. So that whole run. Now we're on an F minor 7 chord for 2 bars. So I've landed on this F note here. I'm then going to slide up an octave higher to the 6th fret on the B string. And we're going to start to move up into position 4 of F minor, which is also around the same area as position 1 of C minor. Position 4 of F minor is here, and position 1 of C minor. So they're around the same region, starting on the 8th fret. So once I've landed on this 6th on the B, I'm then going to come up to the 8th fret and do a semitone bend, also on the B string. Then come on to the 11th fret on the B string, I do a bend and release. I play the 9th on the B, 8th on the B. I then do another semitone bend, but I'm going to do a bend and release. Then go to 10 on the G, 8 on the G, and then I finish with like a quick hammer on to the root note of C on the D string. We start on 8. Again, it's just another grace note thing where we just glance over that first note. So that little bend lick. We've now got 2 bars on C minor. We've just landed on the root note of C. We're going to hold that. Then on the offbeat of beat 4, we're going to hit a double stop on the 8th fret G, 8th fret B. And do like a little slide away. Now we've got one more bar before we're going to change, we're going to go to the turnaround, which is A flat. And we're going to do a little run up for that. We're going to go to position 3 of the C minor pentatonic, which is up here. And we play this 16th note run. We go from 13 to 15 on the D, 12 to 15 on the G, 13 to 16 on the B, Then on the top E, we play 13 to 15, and then we're going to bend it up a semitone, which will hit the A flat note as the chord changes to A flat. From there, we play the 15th on the E, 13, 11. Now the chord changes to G. So I'm going to bend this 13th on the E string, which is an F note, up to this G. So from the A flat, we're then going to hit this bend at the top. So we've bent it up. There's a short pause, a little half beat rest. We then play it again and bring it down. Play the 11th on the E, then we pull off 13 to 11 on the B. And we finish as the chord changes back to C on the 13th fret B string, C note. So just as that turnaround goes, we're just hitting the root note of each chord from the A flat to the G. So now we're back on the root chord of C minor. We're going to be on that for one bar before we've got to get back to G. So we take a little pause here. We're just holding the C note for that entire bar. Then once it hits the G, we're going to do like a descending little slide lick, which just goes down the C minor scale, starting on a G note. So as the chord hits G, we're going to slide up to 12th fret on the G string. Then we slide up to 10. Up to 8, and then we drop down to 7. Now these slides are just quick slides coming from anywhere. It doesn't really matter as long as you land on the right note. 12, 10, 8, 7. And then we just finish off doing the same thing up to the 10th fret on the D string, which is our C note, as the chord progression goes back around. And that would be the start of the next 12 bar. So have some fun with that. Take the solo, like I said earlier, make it your own, play around with the licks, change some of the timings. In this solo, we're quite clearly just following the root notes of the chord. We're doing this just so that you can get the sound of that chord progression in your head, and so that you can get like a kind of a road map of the fretboard of where these chords are, where these root notes are. In next lesson, we're going to take this a little bit further. We're going to look at landing on notes other than the root of the chord, and we're going to look at using some arpeggio licks, and we're going to look at jazzing up that final chord, the G7 sharp 9 chord. We're going to look at putting some nice little spicy licks over that, just to add a bit of colour as you turn the chord progression around and it cycles back around again.